What's going on, guys? Quest here, or aka Drift Missile on all the socials. Kind of have a bit of a surprise here for you guys, if you will. So, as you can see behind me, this is my new 2012 GT 5.0 Mustang. So, you're probably wondering, Quest, why is it look like that? Well, sometimes you stumble across really good deals on OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, you know the usual. And this came up for a really good deal. It has a 5.0 Gen 1 Coyote motor with only 80,000 miles on it. Transmission feels great. The car runs and drives even as is. And it was a really good deal, and we have some big plans for this car specifically. Let me tell you about them. All right, so basically what our plan is with this car is to make a pro drift car, or like a pro spec drift car, out of this car. So if you can tell, the frame is still straight. From the B-roll I took, you guys probably saw that the rear end is also smashed in basically all the way to the rear seats. But our plan is to do a tube front and a tube rear and basically make this car into a drift monster. I don't know if you guys know the V8 Coyote platform very well. I really don't. I'm more into the JDM cars, but from the factory, these cars are pushing about 412 horsepower. So we think, as a drift team, Drift Quest, which is our team, that this will be a great platform to basically take our drifting to the next level. Because right now my supercharged Z is making around 350 wheel horsepower, and the VQ motors are, max out about 450 to max 500, and 500 is really pushing it on the VQ motors. Also, with my dad's other Mustang, the SN95 Mustang, I'll put a picture here, those V8s are really good, but they are not that high of horsepower because it's only a 2-valve and there's only so much you can push out of that V8. So we saw this car on Marketplace for a really good deal, and me and my dad had a vision really quickly to basically make this car into a monster and finally get us into the higher horsepower range. And we thought of it at first of, is it smarter for us to just LS swap my car, or, put a JZ or this and that. But for the price of how much we got this car and how much we basically guesstimated parts would be for this car just to get it to at least a Pro-Am level that's very competitive, it would be cheaper than me to LS swap my current car, which is crazy to me. But especially with the state that this car looks in, it seems like it would be a crazy idea. But in all honesty, I think we just believe that this platform, with not only the motor at a great starting point, but there's tons of drifters around the Midwest, and it's starting to make its way to the West Coast, of these cars as really great drift platforms, turnkey drift cars. And basically what we want to do, the plans, I think I touched briefly, but tube front rear end, bigger radiator, obviously long tube headers, we don't know if we're going to gut the interior yet or not. Full roll cage, probably do something custom because we have a convertible, and we can probably do some, oh my god, white. We could probably do some really good custom stuff and get some great welds. The soft top surprisingly works. Engine runs great, runs solid. Obviously, we're gonna need lots of cosmetic work, as we're gonna need a new hood, radiator. We don't know if we're going to keep the AC yet, because sometimes it's hot out here, and sometimes it's nice to crank the AC in your race car. But yeah, this is kind of like a beginning video, and I think I'm just going to do a little bit of teardown, or what I can with the daylight we have. But that's basically our plans. We're kind of jumping in, you know, head first, and we have somewhat of a rough sketch of what we want to do with the car. But yeah, I honestly thought about, you know, Coyote swapping my 350Z for how cheap we got it. But the Coyote motor doesn't fit into the 350Z, because apparently Coyote motors are one of the widest V8 motors on the market and the biggest motors on the market. So it's really hard to swap them into anything, and that's why barely any people use the Coyote motor, and or they just use the LS platform, because the LS is a lot skinnier and easier to swap into, well, the JDM cars I like. Obviously, I don't know that much about American cars, but I have learned a little bit of Mustang things and alignment stuff, and how the suspension works with the previous generation Mustang that my dad has. But, you know, I'm still new to this American car drift community, so I'm really excited to jump headfirst and learn why people use these cars and why they're such a great platform. Here's another thing, I don't know if I pointed out, but here's another for the rear end. You can tell right here, it's so smashed in that it's actually rubbing against the wheel when you drive the car back and forth. But I'm thinking today I'm gonna take the front fenders off, maybe the side skirts, try to get the front bumper off, and kind of go from there. Yeah. Also, another one of our plans, I don't know if in the immediate future, but definitely in the future, we want to supercharge this thing, and we have been looking at the GT500 supercharger. It should bolt right up, but I think we just want to get the car running first, feel how the suspension feels, etc. And yeah, so I guess let's get into working on it. All right, so as you saw by the time lapse, I got that fender off, and I got the bumper somewhat off. I'm gonna try to do this fender now, and then get the hood off. Go up there. Dude, this is all good.